In the same single episode, 3 grown men got called kids twice, once as a joke, once like it was the truth. Rabbit News Hallyu caught the repeat, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it either. Here's what actually happened. On the latest episode of the Chinese mystery deduction variety show fans know as Let's Start Deducing, Zhou Keyu pulled off a clean win. He hid his killer role so well that not a single guest caught him. Instead of celebrating quietly, he walked straight over to Zhang Linghe and Chengxin and started waving his golden key in their faces. Both of them just stood there, laughing, shaking their heads, completely outmaneuvered by their own castmate. Online, this became the most replayed clip from the episode. Fans called it brotherly chaos. Nobody watched it as anything more than a funny 60 seconds. But later in that same episode, during a quieter, more reflective segment, the tone shifted completely. Jin Jing asked Zhang Linghe, point blank, whether he planned on having kids by 36. His answer was calm and unbothered. He's not in a rush, he said, and who knows what he'll even want by then. Chengxin followed with something just as direct. He said he still feels like a kid himself, and marriage isn't even on his radar right now. 2 segments. 1 episode. And the word kid shows up as the connective tissue in both, first as a taunt, then as a genuine self-description. That's the detail almost nobody is putting together, because the funny clip and the marriage talk clip get shared separately, stripped of the fact that they aired minutes apart on the same show. Why does that matter? Because variety shows don't assemble themselves by accident. Editors choose what stays in, what gets cut, and what gets placed next to what. When a cast gets branded, even loosely, as the younger brothers, and then one of those same guests turns around and says he still feels like a child, that's not necessarily coincidence. It could be a framing choice. And this isn't even the first time this specific dynamic has shown up on this show. Earlier episodes have leaned on nearly identical beats. Chengxin once talked his way into a challenge by claiming everyone present was somehow the Scorpion King's grandson, a bit so absurd that Liu Yuning immediately shot back asking who would even want that title, with Zhou Keyu left just as confused. Another episode saw Zhang Linghe fire off some pointed, needling questions, only for Chengxin and Zhou Keyu to gang up and tease him right back. Online, this recurring 3-way dynamic already has its own nickname among fans. Some call it the Younger Brothers Uprising, others the Cross-Generational Chaos War. That's not a one-off joke catching fire. That's a pattern the show keeps returning to, episode after episode, which makes its appearance in this particular episode look less like an accident and more like a formula the producers know works. Here's the detail most people are skipping entirely: none of these guests are actually young. Zhang Linghe is 28. Chengxin is in his late 20s as well. These are working adults with finished degrees, ongoing productions, and real career momentum, not trainees. So when the show's editing repeatedly reaches for kids and little brother language around them, it's worth asking who benefits from that image sticking. That's the industry angle worth sitting with for a second, because the answer isn't really about these 2 performers individually, it's about how the machine around them tends to operate. Agencies and platforms in the C-ent and K-ent space have long understood something specific about fan psychology. A young star who still reads as unformed, unattached, and not there yet stays more emotionally accessible to an audience than one who's visibly settling down. Marriage announcements, in this industry, have historically been treated as risk events, moments that can cool a fanbase's engagement overnight. So keeping an actor coded as still a kid, even performatively, isn't necessarily about denying reality. It's about protecting a parasocial dynamic that keeps people watching, clipping, and coming back. Which brings us to how the artists themselves are actually navigating this. Zhang Linghe's answer wasn't evasive and it wasn't rehearsed sounding either. It read as someone genuinely comfortable letting the question hang unanswered rather than performing certainty he doesn't feel. Chengxin's response leaned even more openly into the still a kid framing, which is either completely sincere, a comfortable script the show has built around him, or, more likely, some blend of both. Artists under this kind of scrutiny often learn that staying vague on personal timelines isn't avoidance. It's protection. Committing publicly to a marriage timeline, or the lack of one, hands the internet a permanent reference point to measure every future relationship rumor against. Staying loose costs them nothing and closes off nothing. Now here's where the fan culture layer gets genuinely interesting, and it's the detail most casual viewers missed entirely. In the same online threads where people were laughing about Zhou Keyu's taunt, a completely different conversation was happening about Zhang Linghe. Part of his fan base, the ones who ship him with actress Tianxiwei under the pairing name tianxiweidrama, were in those same threads pushing for marriage, practically willing it into existence. Meanwhile, right next to that, other fans were pointing out that a 28-year-old's personal timeline isn't really the internet's business to plan out for him. Two completely different fan instincts, sitting in the same comment section, reacting to the same 15-second soundbite. That tension is worth sitting with, because it's not really about Zhang Linghe at all, it's about what fandoms do when an idol declines to give them a clear narrative to hold on to. Some fans fill the silence with hope. Others fill it with boundaries. Both reactions are proof that the ambiguity itself is doing work, it's keeping the conversation alive precisely because nothing was confirmed or denied. This is a familiar split in international fandom spaces generally, not just here. One camp treats every neutral answer as encouragement, building entire timelines out of a single unbothered quote. The other camp treats the same quote as a reminder that they're watching an actor's job, not a relationship unfolding in real time. Both camps were active in the same comment threads within hours of the clip going up, which tells you that not in a rush answer didn't shut the conversation down, if anything, it gave both sides more room to project onto. Which loops back to the anchor detail. The kid branding that started as a throwaway joke about Zhou Keyu's win ends up, by the end of the same episode, functioning as something closer to a thesis statement about how this entire cast is being positioned, young enough to tease, young enough to still be figuring it out, young enough that a fan base's hopes for a future pairing don't feel like they're running out of time. Whether that's a deliberate editorial thread or simply how 20-somethings actually talk about their lives, the repetition across two separate segments of the same episode is not something you'd expect from careless editing. Zoom out, and this stops being a story about one show or one cast. It's a pattern visible across Chinese and Korean entertainment right now. A growing number of actors and idols in their late 20s are being kept, deliberately or not, in a kind of extended adolescence on screen. Long past the age where a still a kid would describe an actual trainee, the label persists anyway, because audiences respond to it. It shows up in variety show banter, in interview soundbites, in the way agencies schedule public appearances around younger, playful branding well into an artist's late 20s. Whether that's healthy for the performers wearing that label long-term is a separate question, and one that the industry itself doesn't seem eager to answer yet. To be clear about what we actually know here, nothing in this episode confirms any relationship, any timeline, or any hidden agenda from the show's producers. What we do know is what aired, a taunt calling two adults kid brothers, and, minutes later, one of those same adults describing himself the same way when asked about marriage. That repetition might be nothing. It might also be one of the more honest windows we get into how this industry quietly shapes the pace at which its stars are allowed to grow up in public. If you're the kind of viewer who wants the story behind the clip, not just the 60 seconds everyone's resharing, that's exactly what we build here at Rabbit News Hallyu. Subscribe if you'd rather have analysis than just headlines.